Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most beloved and, let's be real, one of the most rage-inducing genres in all of gaming, the kart racer. We're going to dig into the secret design that makes these games an absolute blast and also what makes them feel sometimes completely unfair.
So let's just start with a feeling I think we all know. You're in first place, the finish line is right there, and then total chaos. A blue shell from nowhere, a lightning bolt. It feels personal, doesn't it? Well, what if I told you that feeling, the sense that the game is actively working against you, is 100% intentional?
So yeah, that feeling isn't some kind of bug. It's a core feature, and it's actually a really clever solution to a massive problem in multiplayer games, something developers call the runaway leader problem. Just think about any competitive game you've ever played. If one player gets a huge lead right at the start, the rest of the game can feel kind of pointless for everyone else. The tension just fizzles out, the outcome feels like a foregone conclusion, and worst of all, the fun just completely evaporates.
And this quote really gets to the heart of it. If there's literally zero hope of catching up, why would you even keep playing? A game that's only fun for the one person in the lead isn't a very well-designed game. This right here is the exact problem that kart racers are so brilliantly engineered to solve.
So what is Mario Kart's secret sauce? How does it actually solve this problem and manage to keep every single race feeling like a total nail-biter, right down to the last few feet before the finish line? Well, the solution is this amazing set of systems that we usually just call catch-up mechanics. And it's really a two-pronged attack that works together to keep every race incredibly tight and exciting.
First up, you've got rubber banding. You can seriously imagine it like an invisible bungee cord connecting all the cars. If you fall way behind, the AI opponents in front of you will actually, subtly slow down to give you a chance to get back in the race. But, and this is the part we've all felt, if you get too far ahead, that same AI suddenly gets a mysterious turbo boost to keep the pressure on you.
And second, we have the part that feels the most personal: biased item distribution. You got to understand, those item boxes are not a lottery. The game is constantly checking what place you're in. If you're stuck in last, it's way more likely to hand you a game changer, like a bullet bill or a blue shell. But if you're cruising in first, yeah, you're probably just getting a single banana peel. It's a system that's all about empowering the underdog.
Now, this whole idea of the game adjusting to you in real time isn't just some quirky little trick for kart racers. Nope, it's actually a massive part of modern game design. A whole technique you could call the art of adaptation.
The technical name for it is Dynamic Difficulty Adjustment, or DDA. It's basically the art of making a game that watches how you play and then changes its own rules on the fly to give you the perfect amount of challenge. It doesn't matter if you're a complete newbie or a seasoned pro. It's always trying to find your sweet spot.
The big psychological goal here is to get players into a state of flow. And you know this feeling. It's when you're completely absorbed in something, when you lose all track of time because the challenge is just right for your skill level. It's not so hard that you get frustrated and quit, but it's not so easy that you get bored. DDA is like the engine that's constantly working to keep you in that magical zone. And as you can probably guess by now, this super powerful design concept isn't just in racing games. It shows up in all sorts of places, far beyond the racetrack. Just take a look at some of these. In a game like Resident Evil 4, if the game notices you're getting really good at headshots, enemies will literally start showing up wearing helmets. In God Hand, the game is super open about it. It shows you a difficulty rank on screen that changes while you play. Even in massive online games like Final Fantasy XIV, lower-level players get extra experience to help them catch up to their friends. The game is always adapting to you. But here's the thing. The best DDA systems are completely invisible. You're not supposed to notice that the game is changing its own rules. You're just supposed to feel like the challenge is tough but fair. The moment you see the puppet master pulling the strings, the illusion is kind of broken. So, how in the world did developers actually build these incredibly complex, responsive systems? What does it even look like under the hood?
Well, it all starts with data. A ton of data. The game is just a relentless observer. It logs hundreds of events every single minute, tracking everything from your position on the track to which items you use. All of this creates this massive, real-time data profile of exactly how you play.
All that raw data then gets fed through these complex logic flows. So, for example, something happens like player was hit by an attack.
That one input can trigger a whole cascade of other effects and calculations, and all these tiny events are constantly being processed to figure out a single number, a score that represents your current skill level.
And that's what allows the AI to react. It uses something called a state machine to decide what to do. So based on your actions, it might switch from an idle state to a combo attack state or to a staggered state because you just landed a good hit. Its behavior is a direct response to your own.
So the final result is what one designer famously called the illusion of intelligence. It's not that the AI is actually smart, it's that the system behind it is so expertly put together that it can respond to you, creating a challenge that feels perfectly, personally tailored to your abilities.
And this brings us to our last section and maybe the most important question of all. With all this behind-the-scenes manipulation going on, is the game actually fair?
It really boils down to this fundamental conflict in game design. What are you trying to optimize for? Are you going for maximum fun for the most people possible, or are you aiming for the purest, most unfiltered test of skill?
The arguments for DDA are really strong. It makes games accessible, and it keeps them fun for a huge range of players. It stops new players from getting crushed, and it stops veteran players from getting bored. But the arguments against it are just as real. For highly skilled players, it can feel like the game is punishing you for being good. And it does make you wonder if the outcome of a match is about pure skill, or if the system had its thumb on the scale.
So, we'll end on this. The next time a blue shell swoops in and costs you the race right at the very end, is that an unfair mechanic that robbed you of a win you deserved? Or is it actually a brilliant piece of psychological design that's making the game a thriller for everyone else at the party? The answer, I think, really depends on what place you're in when it happens.